Good morning and greetings to one and all. Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Cell, in association with IPR Cell of SRCAS, welcomes you all for the 5-day faculty development program titled Creating Holistic and Innovative Startup Ecosystem in Higher Education Institution with IPR Facility. Today, day 5, session 1, we have Dr. Bamini Rajasekharan, Director MBA SRCAS. She is here to deliver her address on the topic identifying the student innovators and mentor roles. Dr. Bamini is currently the Director School of Management, Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science, and has to her credit an experience of more than 26 years in various academic and administrative capacities. She has held various positions in the past, including the Assistant Director, Quality Assurance and Projects at SNS Group of Institutions, Quality Assurance Expert at the Ministry of Manpower, Sultanate of Oman, Head of the Business Studies Department at Ibra College of Technology, Sultanate of Oman, and Lecturer at PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, Coimbatore. She has served as a resource person for many workshops and training sessions for the academic and administrative community at the College of Technology, Oman, in areas including strategic planning and operation planning, developing key performance indicators, risk management, policy management framework, and other related QA systems and process. She has published a number of journals in peer-reviewed journals. She has been conferred with awards like Best Resource Person Award in AICTE, STTP, Research Excellence Award by INSC in 2021, Most Innovative Educationist and Lifetime Achievement Award by Global Research Foundation. She has published nearly 3 patents. She had authored 2 books. So this is her short and brief profile. So on behalf of the entire SRCAS faculty community, I welcome Dr. Bamini Madam. Madam, now the session is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Krishnan. Good morning, everyone. At the outset, I would like to place my sincere thanks to the principal, Sri Ramakrishna College of Arts and Science, Dr. B.L. Shivakumar, the IEDC and IPR Cell for creating such a platform to have a faculty development in the area of creating holistic and innovative startup ecosystem in the HEIs with IPR facility. So congratulations to you and your team, Dr. Krishnan and your team, congratulations for taking up such a good effort in this area, because this is the upcoming area and this is the need of the hour. So thank you very much and welcome you all to this session. So I'll be sharing my presentation now. So kindly feel free to stop me at any point, and if there is any clarifications, it can be even, you can even interrupt me and ask me. So feel free to do that. And okay, so today in this session, we are going to see about identifying student innovators and mentor roles. As mentors, what we can do. So this is what we are going to see today. And here we shall dream big, we shall set our goals, and we shall take action towards achieving these goals. So this is what we will be doing through the session today. So to give you a brief about innovation and innovator, I'm sure you have all come across the steam engine was innovated by James Watt during 1770 to 80. The iron boat by Isambard Kingdom, Brunei in the year 1820 to 45. The locomotive by George Stephenson in 1829. Electromagnetic induction, the dynamo by Michael Faraday, 1830 to 40. The light bulb, Thomas Edison, during 79 to 90. So why are we looking at these things right now? Okay, because after this scenario, this is the 17th and 18th centuries. After this, in the 19th century, our economic development was, largely fueled by the technological innovations. So technological innovations, the base for the technological innovations has come from these innovators during the 17th and the 18th century. So now let's have a look at the technological innovations. Starting from 1930s, the polythene, 1945, the ballpoint pen, and the 50s, the manufacturing process for float glass. The 70s and 80s, the ulcer treatment drug. The 70s and 80s, again, the photocopying. One of the research person was talking about Xerox and how Xerox has been the common term used for the process photocopying and how it has become a household name. And 80s, we saw the personal computers by the Apple computer. 80s and 90s, again, the operating systems, Windows 95 by Microsoft, 95 by Viagra, the impotence drug by Pfizer. 2000s, we had cell phone. 2005, we had MP3 players by Creative and Apple. So these are some of the innovations the 19th and 20th century has seen. And these innovations were actually fueled by the innovations during the 17th and 18th centuries. So this is the background that we are looking at. And right now, if we look at the market leaders in 2021, here I have listed the market leaders based on the innovation in the Indian scenario. So TCS, Infosys, HCL, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, the IT companies, the FMCG companies, Unilever, Nestle, P&G and all. And in the automobile sector, we have seen the entry of, other players like Kia and, Ford and Toyota have become a household name after Maruti Suzuki, which was one of the majorly sold cars until now. But right now, even if they are maintaining a 51.3% of market share, but there are other players who are coming in, and it is for them to look out for, how to keep abreast in the area of technological innovations. Now, let's have an overview of the innovation process. Okay, so what are we talking about? When we are talking about the innovation process. Okay, so it is the creative individuals with the firm operating functions and activities and the firm's architecture, that is the external linkages. These are the three key players in the innovation process. So you have people who are creative, and you have firms, who develop the knowledge, the processes and the products, and the society, where the products are going to be used by the market or the end user, and this leads to demands and opportunities. So these are the three key players in the innovative arena, because all these three players are important to keep the innovation process going and to keep the innovation process successful. Now, in this diagram, we are going to see how the products are being developed. On the top, we have the spectrum of design activities, that is the engineering activities, including mechanical, electronics, chemical, manufacturing, who are responsible for the product in terms of industrial design, the outward appearance, the human factors, the required quality, and of course the market, because the market is going to accept the innovation. So the market or the societal changes, the style preferences, and the consumer expectations. And towards our left, we have the knowledge inputs which lead to the product developments, and towards our right, we have our knowledge inputs, again leading to product development. So we are here talking about research, knowledge and experience, which is built over time. Okay, that's why we were taking the reference from the 1770s, 18th century, the 19th century, and 20th century, because whatever we are now as a human race is largely based on whatever has happened before we came into existence. And here we have to acknowledge that in small changes to lifestyle brings about bigger innovation and successful innovation. Now let's have a look at the types of innovation. So the types of innovation, first is actually the first and foremost is the product innovation. So where you develop a new product or a improved version of an already existing product. Then you have the process innovation, where you bring in, a new aspects into the already existing manufacturing process. One of the famous example for this is the Pilkington's float glass process. And the third type of innovation is organizational innovation. Here, what you do is you innovate within your internal organization. So you set up a new venture or a division, or you set up a new type of, communication system, or you set up a new type of accounting procedure. So these are the organizational innovation. Next is the management innovation, where, TQM, the total quality management, the business processes, re-engineering, all these are coming into play. And the best example here is the introduction of SAP R3. And then production innovations, where those who are involved in the sciences can relate to here the quality circles, just-in-time manufacturing systems, Kaizen, new product planning software like MRP2, new inspection system, and so on. And then we have the commercial or marketing innovation. Here, some kind of new financing arrangements, a new approach to sales, for example, direct marketing followed by Amway. These are all some of the examples. And then you have the service innovation, where recently the internet-based financial services have been, into the thing, and people have started using internet-based financial services. Even us, we are using, our mobile phones and, our computers to make online transactions, banking transactions. So these are some of the types of innovations with examples that we have seen here. Usually, when you look at science, here, this is the popular view of science, what you plant, so you sow. So if you plant a technology, you reap a technology. If you sow something else, a service, an innovation, you reap an innovation. So this is the popular view of science. And moving on, we shall now look at the conceptual framework for innovation. So we need technology and science base, which lead to technological developments. And this in turn are satisfying the needs of the customers. So creation of new knowledge, which is dominated by universities and large science-based organizations. So we are proud to say that we are also contributors as higher education institutions to the creation of new knowledge. And then this is disseminated, and people take it up and come with technological developments, which is dominated by organizations. And these together help to, satisfy the customer's needs and wants through consumption of products. So this is the framework of innovation. And innovation, there are two linear models of innovation. The first one is technology push. Okay, that means you develop a technology within your company through your research and development. You manufacture it, prototype it, test it, and manufacture it, and then you market it, commercialize it to the end user. Okay, so this is starting point from your organization through your R&D, and then the end user is your user customer. So this is technology push. You have an innovative technology, you push it into the market. So it's called as technology push. The second type of model of innovation is the market pull, where there is the marketing department who comes and tells you that there is a particular need for a product or an innovation, and then you do the research and development and manufacturing. So here the starting point is from the end user, and you are satisfying the need of the end user through your marketing department. So these are the two linear models of innovation. First is technology push, and second one is the market pull. Okay, so here we have seen that there is a simultaneous coupling model wherein you need to have the research and development, the marketing, and the manufacturing to work hand in hand. Only if these three have a synchronous effort, you will have a proper, successful product. Otherwise, if there is one aspect that's missing, the manufacturing is missing, or the R&D is missing, or even if the marketing is missing, then your product success will become a very big question. So we need to have all these three aspects working together to perform and provide successful innovations and successful products in the market. Okay, and here we are seeing the interactive model of innovation. So this is adapted from Rota, develops into the R&D. So the idea is either coming in from the market pull or from the technology push. So this is the technology push and the market pull put in together for better understanding. Okay, so we'll see some examples of, the technology push, market pull, and dominant design models. So in the 50s and 60s, we saw the technology push through, the sequential process where emphasis was placed on R&D, and the market itself, the consumer itself, was the recipient of the fruits of whatever happened in the R&D. So we used to call it as a seller's market. In management terms, we used to call it as a seller's market. And then after the 70s, we had the market pull, which became the buyer's market. That means the manufactured products were based on the needs and wants of the consumers, or based on the needs of the market. And again, in 70s, we saw the dominant design, where we have seen that the innovation system goes through 3 stages. Okay, so innovation system itself goes through 3 stages before it comes out as a prominent design or a dominant design. And in 80s, we saw the coupling model. The 80s and 90s, we saw the interactive model, combinations of push and pull. 90s, we moved to architectural innovation, where we recognize that the role of the firm is embedded in the influencing of innovation. And 90s, we had the network model, combination of all these past models. And in 2000s, we saw the open innovation, where, the further externalization of innovation process. That means people started patenting their innovations, and these patents were largely accepted and brought in by, technology companies by paying a royalty or whatever the licensing fees or whatever the case may be. So now it is very important for us to talk about disruptive innovations. We talked about, market innovation. We talked about technology push, the market pull. Now it's time for us to talk about disruptive innovation. So some examples of disruptive innovations are, earlier we used to have VCR players, right? video, we used to rent our videos, and now we are having Netflix and Amazon Prime and Z5 and other streaming videos which are live. You can pause, you can rewind, forward, whatever you want to do. So this is one example of disruptive innovation. The other examples include, our photography. We used to use, camera rolls, and now we are using digital photography. And in the area of printing, okay, we used to use offset printing. Now we are using, computer-aided printing. Amazon's Alexa, Airbnb. These are some of the disruptive innovations that have happened. So what is disruptive innovation? Okay, so disruptive innovation is one which completely changes the way we do things. Okay, so in all these examples, we have seen that we have moved from one way of doing things to a completely another way of doing things. So these kind of innovations, we call them as disruptive innovations. Okay, now we'll also see examples of, innovative firms and how this innovative capability has come in. So Apple's innovativeness comes from its innovative chief executive. Google is innovative because of the scientific freedom given to the employees. Samsung because of the speed of product development. P&G, the utilization of external sources of technology. So somebody will invent the technology and patent it. They will license it or take it from them for a royalty. And IBM, what IBM does is it shares patents with, collaborators. BMW is because of the design. Okay. Starbucks is an example where you have a company that has an in-depth understanding of the customers and their cultures. And Toyota because they had a close cooperation with their suppliers. So these are some of the innovative firms we are seeing today, and we are looking at how or explanation for their innovative capability. Okay, again, we are connecting this innovation circle, which is actually interconnected with entrepreneurship. Okay, now end of the day, what we want to do as mentors is we want to create a space for our students to become entrepreneurs. So this is why we are here today to talk about how we can make our students as entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship can come from scientific exploration or a market transition or a research of technology or creating a product. These are some of the ways in which you can venture into entrepreneurship. So here, if you see, product is there through technological research, scientific exploration, and then market transition is not creating a product exactly, but you are creating a different way of doing things. So the innovation need not be necessarily a product. Okay, innovation can be a different way of doing things, like we have seen examples of disruptive innovations, the video streaming and all. Okay, here we are looking at the rise and fall of, and then again the rise of okay. Started its journey in 1975 with the launch of, Apple products. Then Apple Mac was launched. Okay. After that, we saw the launch of Microsoft's Windows. What Apple did was it refused to license its operating system, so sales fall down, and it was given way to the Microsoft Windows. And then you had the launch of Newton and its failure. ahead of its time. And then you saw Steve Jobs rejoining Apple, after which he launched the iMac and the iPod. So this is up to 2004, and after 2004 they have brought in a lot of versions of the Apple iPhones. Right now I think we are in Apple 13, if I'm right. Okay, so the critical factors for the innovation success, okay, is technology viability, successful marketable product, and commercial viability. Okay, so in all this, the centerpiece is you need to have a successful marketable product which has technological viability as well as commercial viability. Okay, so the product related features include the relative price, relative quality, uniqueness of the product, what are the technologically advanced features of the product, and so on. With the market, we have the concentration on the target market, the timing of market entry, competitive pressure, and marketing. And then for the technology viability, we have firm-related as well as project-related factors, including organization's heritage, culture, experience of your organization, the R&D team, the strategy towards innovation, organization structure, R&D intensity, and so on. The project-related factors include the management style, top management support, and so on. So these are some of the critical factors for having a successful innovation. Now, we will not be talking about innovation if we are not mentioning about this one example. Now we have a handheld device, the mobile replaced. It has replaced the another device for satellite navigation, another device for the video camera or your camera. So one of this mobile device that we have has displaced or discontinued the use of so many other devices. So this mobile phone is one of the disruptive innovations that has happened over a large period of time, wherein we are using one single device to do all our activities. Computing, you can do on your mobile phone. Okay, gaming, you can do on your mobile phone. Communication on your mobile phone. Camera on your mobile phone. Your music on your mobile phone. Your personal notes to be your reminders, your clocks, your alarm. Everything is there on your mobile phone. So this is one of the devices that incorporates the functions of many separate devices. And if we are going to give an example of disruptive innovation, your mobile phone gets the first place. Okay, so far we have seen about what is innovation and all. We will now a little bit see about what is a startup, because end of the day, we need our students to have a successful startup. So what is a startup? Okay, so startup is a new business venture. And this business is actually working to solve a problem and giving a solution. But of course, the success is not guaranteed, because only when it is accepted in the market, your success is guaranteed. We can also define a startup as a state of mind. Excuse me. So, exploring the real world of startups, now you need to have brainstorming about connections between the startup idea and the culture. You'll have to look at the geographic, economic, social, cultural factors, as well as your business practices in a specific region or a country. And then you will investigate the successes and challenges of previous companies. Okay, how you can do this is via a startup website or some articles in the press. You can go to your YouTube or you can participate in startup competitions. So this is how you will have to enter the real world of startups. So how can you have a startup? Okay, now you can have a startup if you have an idea, and if you are taking this idea to success, then of course you can have a startup. So for that, you have an idea, you have a proof of concept. Okay, you look at the feasibility in terms of utility, profile, you having the funding that's available. Okay, and then you take it to a success. So you have an idea, you prove concept, you check the feasibility, you check the fundings that is available for you, you see how scalable is that product, how many units of it can you sell, and then you have a success. This is the idea to success. If you want to take the idea to success, for student startup, what we as mentors need to understand is the student startup scenario. So we are one of the players in the student startup scenario. We also have the accelerators of innovation. We have a lot of competition in the market. We as HEIs are the universities. You will have to look at the government grants that are available. Recently, there are a lot of government grants that are available even in India. So I'll in a few minutes from now, we will see how NISP, the initiative of government of India, is helping. There are some angel groups who are investing in student startups. We also have venture capitalists who are investing. We have to have incubators to incubate our product. One of the research person was explaining what an incubator for a startup is, so I'm not going into it. So these are some of the things that we should as mentors be aware of. So you should be aware of what are the accelerators, what are the competitions available, what are the government grants that are available, who are there as venture capitalists within our region, what are the incubation facilities available within our institution and within the geographic institutional capability of other institutions. So these are some of things, if we are aware, we will be successful and helpful in mentoring our students. Now let's look at the big picture. Now India has launched the Make in India scheme, and also along with that it has launched the NISP, the National Innovation and Startup Policy, launched in the year 2019. Okay, this policy is for both students and faculty in the higher education institution. Okay, so this is a joint effort of UGC, MHRD's Innovation Cell, AICTE, and the Institution Innovation Council. So this is in short called as NISP, National Innovation and Startup Policy for students and faculty in the HEIs. Now, so what are the initiatives of MHRD's Innovation Cell? So they have had the Smart India Hackathon, where they had a set of problems displayed on their website, and they invited the students to bring up with successful solutions for the problems that were listed through the Smart India Hackathon. They have initiated the Institution's Innovation Council to spread the word about the importance of having innovation within the country. And then we had the Atal ranking of institutions on innovation achievement, ARIA. And then the National Innovation and Startup Policy 2019 for students and faculty was launched. And after that, they are moving on to International Hackathon. Another hackathon that was recently successful by the government of India is the Toykathon, where they wanted to, have the traditional toys to be commercialized through the Toykathon competitions. So this National Innovation and Startup Policy was launched in 11 September 2019. Here, the policy is to guide the HEIs and to promote student and faculty driven innovation and startups. And they want to leverage the potential of students' problem solving capability and entrepreneurial mindset. Now, we all know that our nation is is a nation with rich entrepreneurial mindset. So they want to promote that through strong intra and interinstitutional partnerships. So the key word here is having partnerships within your own institution as well as with neighboring institutions to bring up the entrepreneurial mindset of the students as well as the faculty. So here, even the faculty, if you have an idea, you can launch it into a successful product through this NIST policy. So the thrust areas of NIST are, governance, promoting innovations and entrepreneurship. It has the norms for faculty and student-driven innovation and startups. It has the support of incubation and pre-incubation. It's creating an innovation pipeline and pathway for entrepreneurs. Incentivizing, giving incentives to the faculty and student partnership. The IPR can be held by the HAI. The IP ownership and rights for technology develops will be held by the HAI. And there is A2, which is the building organizational capacity. And then the pedagogy for learning intervention and supporting innovations in startups, and collaboration and co-creation of the business relationship and knowledge exchange. So with all this, they want to have entrepreneurial performance and impact assessment at the end of the policy implementation period. So they have their own measures and they will be helping through NIST for student and faculty driven innovative startups. So the highlighting features of this policy are, first one is the creation of innovation fund to support innovative products. And here they said allocating minimum of 1% of innovation's total budget. And the second one is the student can take an academic break of 1 semester or a year to work on the startup. And the credit for working on innovative prototype or business models can be, you can have a credit transfer for a theory or a practical course, and then 2% to 9.5% equity in the startup or the company by the institute's incubator. So our institution's incubator will have 2 to 9.5% equity or shareholding. And then the complete ownership of IPR by the inventors in case if they do not use the institute's facility. In case you are finding out something new without using the institute's facilities, then the 100% of ownership can be held by the faculty or the student. And the services to be offered by the institutions for equity, fee-based or zero payment model, all these features are there. So we request you to go through the NISP policy to have a better understanding so that we can be better mentors for our students. So with all this, the most important thing that we have to do is we have to collaborate. We have to have an engagement, and then we have to retain our students in the entrepreneurial arena. So what can we do for all this? Is we need to have a complete ecosystem. Okay, so we have infra facilities, we have dedicated labs, offices, discussion and event rooms in the Institute Innovation Cell. We have this. Now, what we can do is we can form a mentoring pool. Okay, so all the like-minded faculty can join and have a mentor pool, and then we'll have to look at fellowships, the prototyping grants that are available. The CSR. Some of the large corporations have the corporate social responsibility initiatives through which they are doing some funding. Okay, we need to have a funding database. Okay, we need to have some plug and play labs, which is already there in the initial stage. The prototyping can be done through the tinkering lab. The tinkering labs, Atal tinkering labs are the most famous ones, which is promoted by AICTE, and we can have a testing and analysis, and then we can have technology transfer and IP partnerships. Okay, and some of the national programs, BIRAC, they are having the BioNest initiative. So the science and technology people, they can make use of that. So these are the complete ecosystem that is there in the country, which can, and in the institution, which can help in the innovation process as well as in the startup process. Now, for this, the key enabling initiatives are, first one is the incubation, which we have in our institution. And then we have the database for, venture capitalists, who are the venture capitalists, and who are the people that will help us to find our sources of finance. And then we have fellowships, launch pads. We also have the credit transfer system. We have the system of a lab to market. Student clubs are there. We have pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation support within our institution. We have also social incubation, bio-incubation, which is doable within our institution. We also can have the soft landing or commercialization programs. Our EDC, IIC, Innovation Center, Meet the Investor Program, the M Clinics, Venture-Based Camp, Investment Readiness Program. These are some of the initiatives which we have, which are key enabling initiatives for us as mentors to mentor our student startups. So the other enabler, which is the external enabler, is the internet, which has grown a lot more in India than in other countries. And India is the second largest consumer of internet in the world. So internet growth has not only grown number of users, but also the data that is used by our Indian consumers is the largest, and we are in the second position in the internet usage. So now let's see the role of mentors. So we need to have an organizing the mentoring committee. We need to program supervise our mentors. We need to have evaluation system. We need to recruit and train. So these are some of the role of mentors. So what do mentors offer? Okay, so mentors offer a personal connection. They offer empathy. Empathy is different from sympathy. We give them active listening. We help them to validate. We help them to accept. We accept them without judgment. We encourage them to have a healthy lifestyle of choices, work-life balance. And we also give them positive self-talk. We encourage them, motivate them. This is what we do as mentors. Okay, so how is it different from the other networks that they might have? Okay, if it is a peer mentor, then you will have an empathetic ear. You will support in their career. You will give them practical strategies and resources. So it's definitely different from having a family and friends circle. It's different from the human resources in an organization, and it's different from the supervisor manager. So you are people who are actually going to be mentors, and you will be better empathetic than a supervisor or a manager or a human resource person, or even their own family and friends. So mentoring models, we can have one-to-one mentoring, group mentoring. So 2 or 3 people join together, and they become a group. Then you have team, not much different from the group mentoring. You can also have sports-based mentoring. So if you want to have any innovation in the sports arena, this can happen. E-mentoring. So nowadays, because of disruptive pandemic, e-mentoring can also be done. And then institution-based mentoring and institution-integrated mentoring can be done. Apart from this, we can have, project-based mentoring, peer mentoring, peer-peer, near-peer mentoring, youth-initiated, work-based mentoring, or you can have a hybrid model of mentoring. But we need to see how we can use these models innovatively based on the pros and cons of each of these models. Okay, so how does this mentoring process work? So it starts with initiation, where you develop a rapport, you connect with your mentor, and you prescribe them certain things. Once the initiation has started, next stage is the development, where you follow up and gain clarity of what they want to do, and you start collaborating. And then you have the finalizing stage, where you give guidance for future directions, you give them action plans. And once you've given them future directions and action plans, and once they are set, you can move on. Okay, so you can separate them, and they will be working independently as startups or entrepreneurs. They get the independency. So initiate, develop, finalize, and then move on to other mentors, other mentees. So you ideate, interact, and consolidate. So ideate through motivational lectures, entrepreneurship awareness camps, e-week celebrations. These are some of the initiatives that we do here. We also do ideathons in our institution. And then you have to interact through the networking events, participating in competition, taking your mentees on industrial visits. And then you consolidate through technical training, weekly mentoring, campus companies, or startup incubation. This is what are the roles played by mentors. So you ideate, interact, and consolidate. So the mentoring flowchart again. So mentee needs help navigating through a problem. He gets into a peer mentor, so where the record of interaction and making recommendations takes place. And after this, you connect with the innovation cell or EDC to solve the mentee's problem in case you are not able to solve the mentee's problems. Okay, so mentoring skills, you need to have verbal, non-verbal skills. And in the verbal communication skills, we use the acronym OARS, OARS, open-ended questions, active listening, reflection, and summarizing to, hone your mentoring skills. So in the open-ended questions, you help your mentees to explore events, the feelings that they have, and what options they have for action. Encourages your mentee to do most of the talking. You don't talk to them, you encourage them to talk to them. And you begin with words such as how, what, why, or tell me about, such things. And sometimes it's better for you to avoid questions beginning with why, because then they will become introvertish and they will not tell you what they actually feel. Okay, so some of the open-ended question, I shall share this PPT with you all so you can make use of this. And the second one is active listening. Where you pay attention to whatever is being said by your mentee, but then you will definitely ask questions to clarify. So some questions that you can ask is just to make sure I understand, and you ask them the question. And then you give them your message that I see and hear you, I'm here for you. That kind of relationship needs to be developed. And for that, your tone and voice and using their name can be affirming. And then you also have to validate their feeling, to say that it's normal or it's okay to feel this way. So, because a lot of the times in Indian systems, we fail to do this. We make them feel bad about whatever they say, but actually they will have a very good idea. So it's better to avoid making them feel introverted, and you should make them comfortable with you. The third one is reflective listening, where you ask questions so that they understand better about what they are saying. Okay, here you're asking questions only to help them understand and have a better clarity of what they are saying. So this is called as reflective, listening. And the last one is, once you have asked open-ended questions, and then you had your reflective listening, then you summarize with them what they have said. Okay, so what they have said, you have open-ended questions, you have active listening, you have reflective questions, and then you summarize with them, okay, this is what we have talked about, and then you can end the session with that. Okay, and then the most important thing between you and your mentee is confidentiality. They come to you with an idea, and they come to you with the thought that you will not disclose the idea to anybody, or you will not use it with your name. So that is very important. You need to maintain confidentiality of whatever the ideas your mentees are conveying to you. It's very important. No, though nobody will tell you, or there is no non-disclosure agreement that you sign, but yet you have to be confidential and maintain confidentiality, complete confidentiality of whatever ideas discussed with you by your mentees. Okay. So now we will see some of the tools that you can use to, get your mentees to think about ideas and how to find solution. The first and the most used technique is called brainstorming. Now here, it is a simple way of helping your group and people generate new and unusual ideas. Okay, here it is split into two main phases. First phase is divergent thinking. So everybody, gets ideas, and then convergent thinking, where you select the best idea from this pool of ideas generated by them. We shall see a video for that, so to better understand brainstorming.
Brainstorming allows for a relaxed and informal approach to problem solving. The goal is to sort through everything so you can pick out the best ideas for your pitch. Craft your presentation with this sequence of 3 brainstorming techniques. Step 1. Free writing. Before anything else, loosen up and generate as many ideas as you can. Free writing is an efficient way to get everything out of your head. Set aside 9 minutes to write down everything that comes to mind. Don't stop until time is up. Get all your ideas on the page. Then decide which ones suit your subject. Listing down through your thoughts within the time limit lets you pick out the best ideas that could possibly fit your message or execution. Step 2. Mind mapping. Next, develop creative connections to link your ideas together. Mind mapping is a productive and imaginative way to visualize relationships between your ideas. Start with your central idea in the middle and branch outward, writing all the connections you can think of. Keep branching off with as many connections as you can. Seeing your ideas interconnected allows you to make lateral leaps between concepts, setting your theme and guiding your creative process. Step 3. Outlining. Outlining provides an ordered and efficient way to arrange your ideas in a sequential and logical order. Begin by listing your main topics in Roman numerals. Then fill these out with supporting subtopics listed in capital letters. If necessary, list even more specific points in Arabic numerals. This sets your presentation flow in stone, letting you concentrate on other important points such as your speech delivery or slide content. Brainstorming is a great way to break free and create a pitch which is your message and goals.
So we've seen how to use brainstorming, to get ideas and, sorry. Okay, so the second technique that you can use is learnings and ideas capture, where you look at whatever the mentees have to show you, and then you capture the ideas. Say, for example, if you're handling a class, okay, and from the class you can ask them to bring out ideas, and then you can build on those ideas as mentors. So these two are very majorly used techniques to get and capture innovative ideas from students. Okay, so it is also important that we measure and assess, how we perform as, mentors. Okay, so what you can do is you can look at the enrollment and completion figures, the student organization involvement, number of visits he makes to you, how many visits during office hours, how many phone calls he is making for you, how many emails he sends you, how many times he is asking to attend campus events, to see how good you are as a mentor. And also how to, the step one will be to start with an assessment, and step two will help your mentee to create a formula and a game plan to address your concerns, and then step three will help you to follow up with your mentee. Step four, you can celebrate your success, you can celebrate your victories. So these are some of the measurement and assessment that you can use, and these எப்போ கட்டாச்சு வந்துச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Sorry, there was an interruption. So here, what is your business plan? We're not talking about the business model canvas or that we can see, and then we can move on to questions. Now here we are talking about mentoring again.
Hi, this is Don Howe, and the topic for this golden nugget is mentoring.
Bamini ma'am.
Socrates mentored Plato. Plato mentored Aristotle.
Hello, ma'am.
Aristotle
Yes, Nitin.
Ma'am, your presentation is not visible, ma'am.
Participants wait for another 2 minutes. We have some technical issue.
There was some connectivity issues here. Okay. Okay. So now we'll see a video about mentoring now, right now.
celebrate and standard rate for all.
Plato.
Plato.
Plato mentored
mentored
Aristotle. Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great, and Alexander the Great almost conquered the whole world. Mentoring is basically training or discipling others, and anyone can be a mentor. You don't need to be perfect in order to be an effective mentor. As a mentor, you'll teach both skills and character. Skills are usually taught intentionally, while character is usually caught or taught unintentionally. You should only mentor a person who is ready, willing, and able to grow. I like to say, look for a fat person. F-A-T. That stands for faithful, available, and teachable. If effective mentoring that you should watch, and number two, we do tasks together. Number three, you do the tasks and watch and offer feedback. And number four, you do the task. That's how insurance services
So that's all from my. I'm sorry, there are some network issues here. I hope I am clear right now. So thank you very much, everyone. I take it that there are no questions. So I have a question here through the chat box. So Dr. Krishnapriya wants to know about, process innovation. Now, process innovation is that you have a manufacturing process or any process that you have in an organization wherein you make small changes in the process and then it becomes innovative one. For example, you might perform a tweak in the process and then it gives you a better result. For example, in the manufacturing process, the most innovative aspect is the introduction of the just-in-time. Okay, so just-in-time is a technique that's introduced by the Japanese, specifically the Toyota, where they brought in the inventory just in time for the production process, wherein they were able to save a lot of money and they were able to make it a successful one as well. So just-in-time process is one of the process improvement examples that is being discussed worldwide today. Mr. Sriraj has raised a hand.
Madam, good morning. I have one question. Can you elaborate on sports-based mentoring?
Okay. Now, recently there is a huge, movement towards fitness. Okay, so everybody today wants or is aware that they have to be, fit, and they need to maintain a particular level of physical endurance. And so for this, a lot of innovations have been done in terms of, bringing about, Zumba is one of the innovations, and aerobics another kind of innovation. So these kind of innovations are sports based innovation that helps to improve the lifestyle of people. So that can be done only when, the person himself or herself, the mentor and the mentee, they are able to get into a, in the field, get into the field, and develop a system, and they can bring about innovations. Some of the other innovations in the sports based are the energy drinks that have been brought out by the technology based companies.
Thank you.
Participants, is there any more questions? Ma'am, thank you very much for handling a wonderful session. The session was very informative, and the video presentations and the diagrammatic representations, everything were very informative, and it was literally we could understand with the picture itself, ma'am. So, and your explanation itself was very good. And on behalf of the organizing committee, the principal, and all the participants, I thank you very much for giving us a wonderful presentation to us, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity, everyone, and thanks for the patient listening by the participants.
Dear participants, the afternoon session will start by 2:30, and by that we are coming to the end of the 5-day faculty development program. The 2:30 session will give a brief about what has happened for the 5 days, and Dr. Santana Krishnan is going to explain about what all the governmental procedures that has been implemented in the field of innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup regarding. So do attend. That session is what the consolidation of whatever happened on the 5 days and what the government is helping us to move forward in the field of innovation and entrepreneurship. And we will be sharing a feedback link. Please fill the feedback link before 6 o'clock today, so that the participants could receive the certificates. Thank you all, and we can meet by 2:30. Thank you.